Hello, Trainmen. How's everybody doing today? This is Ken at Lionel for Less again, and we're back with another installment in our Lionel and MTH Heritage Series. Today we're featuring probably one of the most famous trains Lionel ever made, the 2245 Texas Special. Just look at that thing. What a train. Now this was a new idea for Lionel in 1954 because for the first time the engine only featured one motor. It was the same motor that was in the Santa Fe's, but this time, to cut down on cost, they only installed one motor here on the rear truck. In the front is where they mounted the horn, and in the center was still the horn, the battery bracket, and the horn relay. So this was something of a new adventure for Lionel. And it was the first train ever to come with its own B unit. And the B unit has no mechanical parts inside whatsoever. No moving parts, except, the wheels do move, but there's no motors or electronics of any type in the B units. It is just a shell on a frame and some just dummy trucks rolling. But the effect was there, and the sad thing about the Texas Special is that it only ran 1 year, which makes them harder to find in nice condition. You can find them in nice condition, but for a set you can expect to pay for a nice set, I would say anywhere from $350 to $550, $600 for a candy store new type for $600. I saw a set at the train show I was at a couple weeks ago that was absolutely just fantastic. Candy store new. It was beautiful. And the guy had 600 marked on him. So maybe you could have walked out with him for 500 cash. I don't know. Depends on what kind of deal you could make. But yeah, this is one set that won't come cheap for you. You'll have to lay out a little money for this. I paid $180 for just the A unit alone, and just by happenstance I have to thank my friend Mark for getting me such a great deal on the B unit, because the B units seem to be harder to find in clean condition. I don't know why, but on this set for some reason the B units are always tore up. It's more than the engine, it seems like, whenever I look at them. This was introduced in the 027 line in 1954, and it came with 3 or 4, I don't know exactly, of the silver 2400 series cars. And to me, the 2400 series cars always looked a bit small behind this majestic train. The train itself, it was molded out of red extruded plastic injection mold, and then it was sprayed a glossy red paint. and then the red paint was masked off, and all the beautiful detail on the bottom was silk screened on. First the white was silk screened on, and the built by Lionel was masked off, as you can see. This one, it has the original nicotine stained portholes. You can see we still have some of the features left before they started stripping them. The ladder's still on there. The ladder's on the trucks. The lighted number boards and an operating headlight and 2 ornamental horns on top. This being 1954, they had already done away with the screen vents. And this one features louvers. And the simulated fans on top. And of course they had the famous white star in the front as just a decal. The pilot was also painted red, as to where, you know, on the other trains the pilot's usually, but on the Wabash I think the pilot is blue too. I'm not absolutely sure of that. This was also, I believe, the first year that they started featuring the, well no, a year prior, but you have to be careful on these trains because when you go to take the shell off of it, the shell is held on by 2 brackets back here. And the brackets are here and here. And there's one screw up in the front. You'll take that off. You lift this very gently and just start tapping on the back while you keep lifting up on this, and go very lightly because you can and you will crack that shell. I've seen a lot of nice trains throughout the years to where that shell was cracked by improper removal of the shell to service it. You know, which also I will say was an engineering design, because there's no other way to oil the motor than to take the shell off. So a lot of nice F3s didn't get oiled like they should have. Okay, and we'll look at the other side. And you can see this is a pretty clean example of the train. Like I said, I spent $180 on this one. It's not perfect. It's been touched up here and there with the wrong color paint, but it's light, so it's very hard to see unless you're really scrutinizing it. And there's that famous Texas Special nose with the star decal in the front. And the 2245 number boards. Okay, let's take a look underneath and see what's going on there. Okay, you'll see underneath the power truck, we'll say made in U.S. of America, the Lionel Corporation, New York. How great is that? Look at that, made in the U.S. It would be so great if Lionel and MTH would bring production back home, and a lot of other companies. And to get the battery out, you simply put a screwdriver in there, move this over, and insert the battery in or out. It's a very good idea to take the battery out if you're not going to use the local, because it could leak and cause battery damage in there. I've ran across a lot of F3s that had serious battery damage. And the front truck is the collector truck, more or less. But this also, you know, if you wanted to customize it, you could put a power truck on here and run 2 motors, which I may do on this one. And of course, this is where you would control the E-unit. I'm sure most of us know that, but I have a few new subscribers, so I have to take things from the beginning, because we all started somewhere at once, didn't we? Okay, so now we're going to examine closer the first B unit that was made by Lionel. So this is a piece of Lionel history here, this train. It's the first B unit produced. Shell simply held on by screws. You have the louver vents, simulated fans, simulated smokestack. We'll take a look at the other side. And underneath here, you'll see and this is very much lighter than the engine. Same plate, but this is not a power truck. This is a dummy truck. See the nice side frames on the trucks and ladders. And there's some writing on there. And this one says General Motors Type F3B Diesel Electric Unit, made in the U.S. of America, the Lionel Corporation, New York. I just can never get tired of saying that. And I believe under here, somewhere, there it is, you'll see the stamping, rubber stamping 2245C. So even though this is called a B unit, in the catalog it was designated as 2245C. So that's about it, trainmen. Another installment of the Heritage series. And later on we're going to be tuning these things up, and I'll show you guys how to properly oil them, clean them. F3s are particularly good thing to keep up on the maintenance. And if you buy one, you should always clean the trucks, and I'll break that all down for you on a how-to video. Once again, this is Ken at Lionel for Less. This is our Heritage series, the third installment. Today featuring one of Lionel's most iconic trains, the 2245 Texas Special. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you'd like. We love having you here. Please comment I am by no means an expert. I appreciate all comments, and I'd love to learn from you. And anybody wants to ask me some questions, if you're new, I'll gladly respond back to you. Thanks for tuning in, and happy railroading.